Theo, my child, you're kind of in the way. Hi everyone! Today I'm doing my June wrap up and I am pleasantly surprised. I need to do some math. Even though I did do the math but I forgot, so like give me a second. Even though I was travelling in June, I had BookCon and I was in Spain, I managed to read, and I've just forgotten the fucking number. 14? 14, I think it's 14. I read 14 books in June and I'm so glad that my that's a really good number for me. Like I don't know how I kind of do know how I managed it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have lost some of these books. Well, I've lost one of these books, I think. Who knows? I really need to tidy my room and sort out my bookshelves because like trying to find books was impossible. Wait till we get to my haul video because I'm pretty sure that there are books from previous months that I have forgotten about. So who knows what I've bought and when, but you're just gonna get a rough haul. But this isn't the haul, this is the wrap up. We're one video in and Theo's already scraping at the door to get out, but I physically cannot get off my bed. So we're just gonna get into it. So the first book that I finished in June was Matched by Ali Condé. I literally had like 50 pages of this left before I went to BookCon and then I couldn't finish it before BookCon because that's the kind of reader I am. So I finished it when I got back and I should really just put this in front of me, that would be smart. I gave this 3 stars. I did enjoy it, obviously. I don't understand my rating system. Basically 3 stars, like it's good but I didn't love it, or and like I don't know, okay, just know I did enjoy it but I'm not like, oh my god, this book. I do have books 2 and 3 and I would like to read them, but already a month later I'm already like not interested. I can't really remember what happened. Like it was a good read, I'm glad I read it. I do love a good dystopian. As I say, I can't find books 2 and 3, so I probably won't pick them up. So for those of you that don't know, Match is about a girl called Kasia who is in this world where like things are organised for you because dystopian. She gets matched with a boy but then it like changes. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. That's it. I can just throw this down here now. Woo! Oh, then I read a NetGalley arc of The Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill and I gave this 5 stars. Who couldn't give this book 5 stars? I haven't read the first one, I know, but it's just so fucking cute. It's little dragons, little tiny dragons. They make little tea. Oh, I can't even. So fucking cute. Everyone should read these books. I need a physical copy. Theo, what are you doing? Next, I read Down and Across by Arvin and Maddie, who I met at BookCon. I really enjoyed this book and I gave it 4 stars. I've been meaning to read this for so long and obviously after getting my signing ticket, I was like, time to actually read this shit. Hadn't bought it when I got my signing ticket, so I had to buy it and then read it. I'm blabbering. Shut up, Emma. Ew, that was very posh. 4 stars. Really enjoyed this. Words. Then I was in Spain and I picked up Sweet Little Lies by Kaz Freer. I gave this 3 stars. It is a typical thriller kind of thing. I mean, it's not actually. I'll give Kaz, you know, I'll give Kaz a benefit of the doubt here. Not benefit of the doubt, whatever the word is, phrase, I don't know. This like main character, she's not like an alcoholic or like she's single. She does have daddy issues. Okay, so maybe it is kind of like your typical thriller with a female main character, but she's a policewoman, so she's not just like Joe Bloggs down the street trying to solve a murder or whatever. But I kind of called the whole thing. It was kind of obvious what was going on, but it was still enjoyable, like figuring out everything. And I'll admit, I didn't really guess what was happening until like the end when they're trying to wrap it up, and it's done that typical wrap up thing where they're trying to like put these clues in, so like obviously it makes sense. It's not just like this reveal out of nowhere with nothing to back it up, but I just picked up on the clues too easily. I've clearly watched too much CSI and Criminal Minds. But it was a good book. I left it, I unhauled, like I knew I was going to unhaul it. Here's the weird thing, right, because I knew it was going to be the sort of book, I've got a shitload, I've got like a whole shelf double stacked with those type of thriller books, and I enjoy them when I read them, but like I don't really care for them. So I was like, right, I'm just gonna take one, I'll read it when I'm on holiday, and I'll just leave it because my mom has friends over there that have a bar and they have books at the bar for people to buy. I just picked this one up at random, and what I found hilarious was on the very last page, this isn't really a spoiler, but she's talking about like where people are now, and one of them is in Fuengirola in Spain, and that was exactly where I was in Spain. And I was like, I picked this up at random. Of like 30 possible books, I picked up the one book that mentions the place I was in. It was spooky. This is the book that I can't find. I picked up Dark Mirror by Helen Maslin. Now I bought this book in Fuengirola last year, so I was like, right, I'm gonna take it with me this year and read it. It wasn't what I expected. I gave it 3 stars. And it's like a gothic sort of mystery horror-y type. It's kind of reminiscent to me of Stags by M.A. Bennett, in the sense that there's like this boy who's like really posh and rich sort of thing, and he inherits a castle, but the castle has a curse that the people who own it like die or whatever. So it's kind of like paranormal magical realism. Yeah, the book was good, but it was told in like a dual perspective. So you had the present day with the main character, and then you had a character in the past, and I much preferred the character from the past story and all of that. So I think if it had been more focused on that, it would have been like a 4-star, but I just didn't really care for the current day and the mystery bit of it. Like, it was good, it just wasn't what I wanted. I don't know, maybe I thought it was gonna be more like boarding school mystery rather than like group of friends go to an abandoned castle and try not to die sort of situation. It was good, I'm glad I read it. I don't know what has happened to it, it's gone. I need to find it. I then picked up another NetGalley book because I am getting on my shit with NetGalley, and picked up Across a Broken Shore by Amy Trueblood. Gave this 3 stars. It was a very 3-star meh kind of month. But this is a historical fiction novel that deals with the time period of them building the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and it's about a girl who wants to become a doctor, but obviously back in the day, like, female doctors, no. But she like joins up with the new female doctor in town, kind of like assists her, and it's all about her deciding whether she's going to go to a convent and become a nun or become a doctor. It was interesting. It was a bit, I don't know, I feel like it was kind of just lacking in a sort of plot. Like, the plot itself was this girl was saying whether to go to the convent or become a doctor, but I feel like it needed something more specific happening. But there wasn't. There was a lot of sort of like, oh my god, this has happened, and oh my gosh, this dramatic thing has happened. Like, you know, a lot of accidents where she then had to go and help the doctor heal these people, but there wasn't like anything really other than her big decision. So again, a good book, but forgettable. Then I picked up The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor. This has been on my radar since it came out. Hello, Theodore. But I don't know, I wasn't sure what to make of it because it didn't sound like the sort of thriller I would usually pick up. But after Kayla from Books and Lala picked it up and loved it and all this stuff, I was like, right, I'm gonna give it a try. And I was kind of disappointed. I gave it 3 stars. It probably would have been 4 had I not went into it with such high expectations. But it just wasn't what I expected. I don't really know how to describe it. Basically, there's this group of boys, well, group of friends, sorry, and when they're young they come up with this system of like drawing chalk men to send messages, but then it leads them to like finding a body, and in the future the chalk men appear again, and it's like, well, what's going on? I feel like it was kind of predictable. It tried very hard to be shocking and to be like, oh my god, at the end. I don't know. I wasn't blown away by it. It was enjoyable. I did like reading it. I did want to find out what was going on. It was fucking shocking at some point. Like, there's literally like, I think it's like literally then like the first, yeah, like literally page 14 or something. Not even page 14. But like within the first 14 pages, like something happened and I was like, what the fuck? But I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting from it. I don't know what I was expecting, but you know, it's what it is. I would definitely pick up CJ Tudor again because it was a very refreshing thriller from the typical single spinster woman who has daddy issues or a drug problem solving a crime. But yeah, I just expected more of a shock and I felt very cheated. And was like, this is such an obvious ending. I don't know. Where am I putting all these? Oh, down here. I was then in a bit of a reading slump after my holiday, and I was like, I need to get my shit together. I kind of went into a downward spiral mental health wise. I was missing everyone from BookCon and just things. I was just feeling a bit meh basically, and I wasn't reading, and I noticed this was happening, and I was like, nope, we're not going through this again. We're not going into a downward spiral. We're going to read some books. So I picked up 3 poetry books, which you will notice have a theme. Vine and Tea, Milk and Vine, and Milk and Vine 2. These are just silly little books that just, they're Vine's bit in writing. Like, so obviously, like, some of them I got the reference, some of them I was like, I have never seen this, but these were just quite, well, let me get this right. I don't know if it's because it's basically the same thing in 3 different books, but Vine and Tea I read first and I gave it 4 stars. I found it very funny, I enjoyed these, it made me reminisce Vine, it made me want to watch Vine compilations on YouTube. Very much enjoyed, 4 stars. Would pick it up again for some cheering up. Then I picked up Milk and Vine 2 and I gave this one 3 stars. I didn't enjoy the illustrations in this. A lot of them just were a bit like, I don't know. I didn't like this one as much. I don't know, I didn't vibe with this one as much. I think there was less that I was sort of aware of, like there was more that I didn't know. So yeah, it was good, but not as good as the first one. And then this one, which is the first one of that one, I gave this one 2 stars, which maybe it should be the other way around because this is the first book, but there were quite a few vines that were in both, and I'm like, I understand if it was in Vine and Tea and then Milk and Vine, but if you've written a sequel, like, why are you putting the same things in the sequel? Like, could you imagine if Rupi Kaur brought out Milk and Honey 2 and it was just the same poems and a couple of new ones? Like, no, I want new shit. So yeah. I then picked up Twisted by Laurie Halse Anderson and I gave this one 4 stars. So this follows a boy called Tyler who has been in some trouble and all this stuff, and then he gets wrongly accused of sexually assaulting another girl. So it's all just about him dealing with this like issue, like people treating him as a rapist when he isn't. We have so many books that deal with this issue from the victim's perspective. We never get, I mean obviously this is from the victim's perspective. It's so hard, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, from the girl, because obviously boys can experience that as well, but what I'm trying to say is it's refreshing to have a book about this from a different perspective. It's not I was abused or this happened to me, it's I have been wrongly accused of this, which we don't tend to get. So I really enjoyed that. Enjoyed, loose term, but I thought it was very well done and I really enjoyed the characters, and I just love Laurie Halse Anderson's writing. And just, yeah, hard hitting book, but like it was actually, it wasn't that hard hitting, it was more frustrating, I think, being in Tyler's head and knowing how he feels and then knowing like what he's going through. Like that was really tough because like that was the hard part, whereas the actual event and stuff itself is not like, it's not graphic or anything, so it was hard hitting but not difficult to read. Obviously it could still be triggering for people, I'm not trying to say that it's like, I don't know. Good book. I'm gonna shut up. I then picked up yet another NetGalley arc, look at me going, and that was Watcher's Rise by Rennie Watson and Ellen Hagen. I gave this 3 stars. We follow 2 girls, we have 2 perspectives, Jasmine and, oh my god, I can't remember people's names. Basically these girls go to a school which is all about social justice, and they have to go to these clubs. So they have to go to a club that will deal with maybe like Black history, or, well, this is the problem. The clubs and that in the school kind of don't care for people of colour as such. They kind of, they're not deliberately ignoring them and outing them and all this sort of stuff, but like they are quite ignorant. So So it's about these girls trying to fight for that, trying to fight for feminism and fight for people of colour, women of colour. And it's a very good book with a good story, but I gave it 3 stars just because I don't know, I just didn't really fully connect with it. And I feel like the characters, you know, the characters were flawed, they weren't perfect, but I feel like one of the girls, not Jasmine, the other one, she came across as very like, what is it I'm trying to say here? It was like she didn't care, like she didn't think she was doing anything wrong. Like if she fucked up or did something, like if she, you know, like they basically littered the school, they trashed the school with posters and stuff and like graffitied and everything, and I feel like it was Jasmine who understood that that was wrong, whereas the other girl was just like, well, I don't fucking care because we need rights. And it's like, yes you do, but you still gotta be respectful of shit, you know? It was like she was kind of that mentality of like, you know, oh well, you're treating me like crap so I can get away with anything. Like no. And I'm like, listen, I am here for you getting this school like on its path of what am I saying? Basically I just felt like she wasn't getting like a lot of repercussions for what she was doing, and she maybe should have. What really irked me though was the friendship group is 4 people. Isaac, Jasmine, whatever that girl's name is, and another girl. But we only have 2 perspectives. Isaac was only there to be like this love interest and to be the ally. He also pissed me off at one point because they made a joke about him being like their honorary feminist, which obviously he can still be a feminist even though he's a boy. But he was like, just call me Isaac. Like I'm not the ally or whatever, I'm Isaac. And I was like, you're taking this like a little bit, you're getting a wee bit offended for no reason. But he was just there because one of the girls, Jasmine, is a bigger girl, so there's fat rep, but this Isaac guy's there basically just there to be like, I love you even though you're fat. And I was like, you know, he's obviously meant to be, I didn't realise I was so annoyed with this book, but you know, this dude is obviously meant to be there to be like, you know, people can love you in spite of your size and all this, but it just kind of felt like patronising. I was like, we didn't actually need this romance going on. And then he was also just kind of there to be the person to like, because Jasmine's dad's dying, but his mum died, so he's like, oh look, I understand. And the other girl, I don't know what the fuck she was there for. She's meant to be like a really close friend and we met her like twice. I don't understand. I think the book was really good. It did have, you know, the overall sort of plot was great, and like it did have a lot of stuff going on that worked, but there were just these little things that kind of, I don't know, they annoyed me. And it's maybe just me. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this book is very, very important. As I say, it's diverse in many ways with the body positivity, what am I looking for? Body image, different bodies. I'm sure there was LGBTQ rep. There's literally, I think, are both main characters people of colour? I can't remember, but you know, it is a very like rep heavy book, and it deals a lot of like equality issues, like social justice issues, and it is a very good book in that sense. That isn't what bothered me with it. It was just those sort of little things that I didn't like, the different perspectives. I felt like if it was going to be multiple perspective, it should have been all of the friend group rather than just those 2. It didn't make sense to me having both perspectives. It was probably more like a 3.5 if I'm being nice. Oh wow, I am sweating. Ew, that is disgusting. Oh, it had to be one of those books as well, didn't it? I'm really sorry, you're gonna have to see all my sweat marks. So I read Pillow Thoughts by Courtney Pepperdine and I gave this 4 stars. The problem with poetry books is ones like this, they are specifically written with different sections, so when you're feeling lonely or you're going through a breakup, you can go to this section of the poetry book and you can feel like you're not alone, you can feel represented, you can have your thoughts explained, and you can connect with the author and be like, yes, we're in this together, bitch. I can't do that. One, because a lot of poetry books deal with romance and relationships, and as an asexual, that just doesn't appeal to me. It's like a real life thing. So I read poetry books cover to cover. Like I always read them cover to cover, one sitting, and you know, sometimes they're not made for that, so it doesn't really flow. This one I felt like it did. I mean, poetry books can't really flow, but I have to say I I didn't find myself cringing at these. Like a lot of the time with these sort of poetry books, and they're like, oh, my heart is in shatters because you have gone, and like I just sit there like, get over it. Like, I'm not a romantic person. Like, I don't get it. Like, get over it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just don't understand it. So for me, when it gets really like cringy and all that, I'm just like, okay. But I didn't feel that with this. I felt they were very, like, I could understand it, and I could also, it didn't make it seem explicitly like it was like, I think Courtney Pimpernel's actually with another woman, so obviously the poems didn't feel very like women, like, what's the word, like, what is that word, honing, like pining. It didn't feel like this woman pining after another man, like, sort of situation, which I appreciated. But overall the poems were very good. I didn't find the need to highlight any of them, which is always disappointing. I love highlighting lines of poetry, but maybe it was late at night and I just wasn't in the mood, I don't know. But I didn't highlight any of these. Still gave it 4 stars, and I will definitely pick up more of Courtney Pimpernel's work in the future. And my final book, I literally finished yesterday, was All Eyes on Us by Kit Frick, and guess what? This means it was a Kindle book. Well, I mean, it doesn't, it could mean I on holiday, but this book in particular was a Kindle book, which means it was another Nick Kelly arc. I know, I am shook. But I gave this 3 stars. Again, really meh month for me. I don't know. This was another sort of YA mystery situation. 2 perspectives. We had Amanda and Rosalie. Amanda is this posh girl with the posh boyfriend, and her life's all planned out. She's gonna marry him and become Mrs. Shaw and host all these parties, blah blah blah. Rosalie is his bit on the side. But both girls start getting texts from a private number, basically trying to get them to break up with this dude. And it's all dramatic and all mysterious, and then shit starts happening, and literally, like, it's so dramatic. And then obviously it's about finding out who this private number is, which we do. As always happens with me in mysteries, as it was getting to the big reveal, I was like, oh, I know what it is. It's this person, and it was. And it didn't really make sense to me, because some of the shit that happened, I was like, why? Like, I didn't understand the motive. Like, I mean, the whole thing in general, the whole text thing, I don't really understand the person's motive for doing it. But then the stuff that they actually went out and done, no. It's just so unrealistic. And listen, I know it's fiction, and I know we read it to escape from the real world, but if you're writing a book in this real world, I want to believe it, and there was no way I could believe it. When I found out who was sending the text and behind all this stuff, I was like, really though? I don't think so. I really want to spoil it, but I'm not going to, because it was still an enjoyable book. This is the thing, like, I didn't hate the book. Like, I didn't hate any of the books that I read, apart from maybe that Vine one. But, you know, like, it was an enjoyable book. And if somebody said, hey, like, I'm in a charity shop and this book's 50 pence and I'm curious, would you recommend it? Like, yeah, okay, pick it up, give it a read if it sounds like something you'll enjoy. I just don't think it was a believable result. So, I don't know. Those are the books that I read in June. I really hope that July is, well, I need July to be a better month. Not that this was a bad month. Bad rating wise, I would love it. I would love to get a 5-star book in July. But also, it's Yalk in July and the bookie trials. So I have like 14 books on my TBR for the trials. But then for Yalk, I've got about 30 that I'd like to get to before then, which isn't going to happen because I have like 20 days. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to leave this here because, as I said, I have 2 more videos to film and I'm terrified that my battery's going to die. I don't know why I'm putting on such like a posh kind of voice today. So yeah, that's my wrap up. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you probably in a day or 2 in the exact same outfit. I mean, maybe I should change because my hair is soaking. Oh my god. Oh, if you're new here, welcome to the mess. I say this every single time, but I feel like you guys I need you guys to know what you're getting yourselves into. So yeah, please like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts on these books, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! bye.